Welcome, gamers, to this week's episode of Last Call Gaming. We're on episode number 63. My name is Craig Perales, and joining me is the man in all black himself, Mandrew Montemayor.
I got a little red, Diddy Kong on my hat.
Okay, so someone's coming up from behind you. At least they see the monkey's in charge on that one, huh?
Gotta have something gaming.
Gotta have something gaming indeed. So, guys, we like to drink beers around here, as you know that, and today's was picked out by none other than the Miss Lovely Deandra Gadberry, and she picked the Lagunitas Hop Stoopid Ale. This sits comfortably at an 8%, and this is brewed and bottled by the Lagunitas Brewing Company in Petaluma, California, and Chicago, Illinois. So they brew it in one place and bottle it in another?
That's weird.
That is kind of odd.
I think it's pretty good, but I don't think it's ever anything. This is for sure a drink I would never get while I'm out. Like, oh, hey, give me that Hop Stoopid.
Well, yeah, because I remember Lagunitas is usually just like a pale ale, and this says ale, and I'm assuming it's falling in that same category. It's crispy. It definitely leaves a bite in your mouth. Yeah. I'm not mad about it. But yeah, I'm with you. I don't know if I'd go and start ordering this. It's like, bartender, I'll take another. But ice cold, I mean, nothing to complain about.
That's my biggest thing is I don't know how this would be warm. It doesn't seem like it'd be good, so I don't want like a 32 ounce of that.
It's definitely a palate cleanser too, because I was drinking Michelob's earlier, and it's definitely whoosh, and now I'm tasting this.
You know, I had that Michelob earlier, and I was like, this doesn't taste good, and I think this tastes much better than the Michelob did.
Oh, look at you growing up and getting all fancy. So, Deandra, we super appreciate the beer, and as always, guys, if you want to recommend a beer for us to drink on the show, make sure you leave it down in the comments. So, as the thumbnail suggests, guys, we are going to be giving away a next-gen console for this giveaway, but we are going to save that to the end. That's going to explain the rules and the hashtag on how you enter. So if you guys are interested in the next-gen giveaway, make sure you stay tuned to the end of the episode, because we got to bore you with at least some knowledge. So there's no big stories out this last week. Andrew and I were looking at it. We're like, there's nothing crazy to write home to, and we don't like making mountains out of molehills. Like, we don't like take random stories and blow them up, but there was a couple of things that caught our eye, so we decided to make this episode just some quick riffs and some fan questions. I mean, you can't really beat that.
No, I got a couple of things that I think I'll talk about for a little bit.
Well, let's start with you, my good man, and let's get whatever you got off that big strapping chest of yours.
My first one is actually going to be that a lot of people now are getting Xbox Ones that actually are Xbox Series X's, that actually work, and they can only talk about certain things, so we haven't seen anything really UI or anything like that related. But they have put out some load times as far as examples, like playing certain games and everything, and we'll throw up a whole little chart here, but some of them I thought were pretty impressive. I'm not going to go through all of them. I'm just going to give you just a couple quick ones I thought stood out the most. Red Dead Redemption 2 normally took like a minute 35 just to load up and boot. It's now takes 52 seconds. Outer Worlds took 27 seconds. Now it only takes 6. Sea of Thieves, I think, was the most impressive one. That took a minute 21 to boot normally on the Xbox One. Now it only takes 20 seconds. Warframe as well took 1 minute and 31 seconds. Now it only takes 25. And Destiny 2 as well took a minute 52 to load up, and now it only takes 43. And that's something that I've been saying is I'm most excited for. Mm-hmm. Microsoft doesn't really have any big sort of software to launch with. I'm more excited just to be able to get in and get going quick, just get out of these load times. They have said too that a lot of the other games that they played, some backwards compatibility ones, there have been big changes too that make it load faster, it looks better, runs a lot smoother, and these are games too that haven't been patched, that don't have that optimized for Series X stick or anything on that, where I know some of these do, like Destiny 2, I'm sure Outer Worlds, Red Dead 2 and stuff like that are built for that already. So who knows what other kind of stuff. I'm actually really excited, and this has me more excited because I just seen a couple. I think even to cold boot the console, sometimes when I turn on my One X now, it probably takes about 30 to 45 seconds some days, and I watched someone cold boot the X, and I think it was up in 4 seconds.
Yeah, they shut it off, they returned it back on, it was up and running, and the games they had on quick resume booted up pretty quick too. So yeah, the beauty, and Andrew, I've been preaching this for a minute, is the standalone that you're taking away from the next gen, in our opinion, is these load times, man. The faster you can get, especially if you're someone on Destiny, and you're sitting around for 2 minutes staring at a goddamn planet or a space station or whatever the loading screen is. Yeah. I mean, the beauty is you're gonna be doing more gaming, and I'm sure there's a a fact that shows the difference between how much gaming you'll get more over a year based on the time difference. I'm actually curious about that, and I want to look that up. But yeah, getting more gaming in is really the name of the game. I just love that next gen is taking full. I mean, we're cutting sometimes down in half. So I mean, there's no complaints, and I gotta say, because they were also saying the backwards compatibility and the quick resume is another thing that I think is going to be awesome. I think the review that you sent me, the guy said he was averagely playing about 5 games running at once with no issues, and depending on the game or the size of the game, you can kind of flex that around between getting up to like 8 or maybe even 10, I think was the number.
Yeah, they were saying as far as the quick resume goes that you could potentially have up to 12 games max, to where, okay, I don't want to play that, I'm going to jump over to this, and it'll pick right back up where you left it off. So I kind of like that too, because I do bounce between games. So I mean, if that'll even cut the loading times even shorter, then shit, why not?
Yeah, because even like Gino's around and we go from the 1X to the S, or even the day oneer, you see a time, and the article is even saying is like it's night and day going from the Series X and going back to a 1X. It's just mind-blowing how much faster this is getting. So with being a few weeks away, I am
39 days.
39 days. I am super excited, and I cannot wait.
Yeah, so that's what I got for my first one.
Nice. So my first riff comes from Cyberpunk 2077, one of the biggest games that people are looking forward to in 2020. The game by CD Projekt Red is facing what they in the business call crunch time. It's looking at a 6-week crunch. Now, if you're unfamiliar with the term or you don't know what it is, crunch back in the day was a thing where companies would get employees to work. So the average would be 5 days, 8 hours. People are working 6 to 7 days and working 15, 18-hour days without getting bonus pay, without getting overtime. So the crunch was the race to the end to get these games done. And it's been, duly noted that EA has done this, Rockstar has done this, Epic has done this. Red Dead 2 was notorious for having crunch time in this, but Naughty Dog was another one. And what sucks is, and the reason why we're kind of shining light on this is when you get crunch time and you're staring at the same thing and then you've got pressure on it, this was leading to a lot of suicides and mental depression of things like that. So it's a dangerous thing to have in this industry. And one of the companies that came out was CD Projekt Red, especially with Adam Badowski saying that, they're not that kind of company. They're not going to force anyone to do that. They want to be a company that's known to have certain standards and that people enjoy working at. And he's quoted that he said, "We have no problem asking employees if they want to work a 6-day or a night or a weekend. They're going to get paid for it." But what just happened is Cyberpunk has been delayed about 2 or 3 times. And now its window is November 19th, which is a week after the PS5 launches and 8-9 days after the Xbox One. They want to reach that window. They want to get paid. Those games that launch during the launch window generally sell quite well, even if the game's mediocre, which I doubt Cyberpunk 2077 is going to be. But he just sent out an email that hit all the employees, and there was someone that was anonymously saying that they're now required. It's mandatory to work 6 days with overtime. The only difference is they're in Poland. And Poland has laws that say anything after your 5 is going to be OT, and you're going to be taken care of, and you're going to be paid. So I'm kind of writing this gray line of going, okay, this game has to come out, and I understand crunch time. This is the race to the finish. But it's not back in the day where they're getting mistreated or abused or unpaid. They're getting fully taken care of. So on one end, I'm going, man, that sucks. This is this game was supposed to come out in April, and now it's coming out in November, and they want to make sure it's done. Okay, but you're getting paid. You're getting taken care of. It's not like you're being completely abused. So I don't know. I think I stand comfortably with it. If anyone doesn't want to do it, they don't have to. But, imagine that OT. That's going to be big time OT for these guys. And then plus when the game does come out, that's when you reap the reward.
You get your bonuses.
Yeah, so what do you think? What do you stand on that line?
I think as long as...
Because I think it's comfortable crunch.
Yeah, I think as long as it's consensual and someone's saying, yeah, you know what, you have the choice to do it, we really need you to do it, but you're going to be fairly compensated. I understand that it sucks, but you're going to be taken care of. As long as they're taken care of, then that's all that really matters. I did actually see this story because Jason Schreier had tweeted something about it, but Then I seen him going back and not going back and forth because he hasn't blocked, but Colin Moriarty also wrote something on here that's probably not even the case. He's probably people are being taken care of. This whole thing's just being blown out of context.
That's what I think.
And someone actually did come out from CD Projekt Red saying like, hey, this thing's being blown out of context. Like, it's not what you guys think it is. It's just making sure everything's fine-tuned, taken care of, whatever, that sort of thing. So, I mean, who really knows, because that could just be some sort of damage control. Yeah. But again, as long as someone's being taken care of, and of course that it is optional, right, then it is what it is.
Because I did see an article that popped up saying kind of the defense, because Badowski is on the defensive. He is saying, guys, I will take the heat for this. I was the one that said we're not that kind of company, but we've exhausted every other avenue. At this point, if we want to hit our deadline, like, this is the only way to do this. And one of the articles I remember reading was like, guys, it is being a little blown out of proportion. It's not that bad. But when I went to go back to look it up, every article is just forced to run 6, forced to do this, forced to do that, forced to do that. And you can't compare. It's apples to oranges, even though the crunch is in the name. It's not the same thing. They're not getting abused. They're getting paid to work on something they've put probably 7-8 years of their lives into, if give or take.
I think it's weird that there's such a stigma on this, but not like other things. Like,
right, good point.
Like, so I don't think that they put it into. They don't directly come out and say like, oh, if you choose not to work it, we're gonna fire you. But I mean, outright, then if we can't rely on you to be there when push comes to shove and we really need to get this thing done,
right,
then we need to find someone who we can rely on. And that's sort of a bad mentality to think about for something like that. But at the same time, how many normal jobs do, even my job, when I first started, they were telling me too, like, that's a question. If we have an emergency, if something happens, can we call you on your day off? Like, can you be expected to come in? Yeah, we're going to compensate you for it and everything like that. But no one's going to defend me. Oh, you shouldn't do that. That's blah, 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 blah. Right. Whereas you should know when you're making a game, especially when so many people do it, that is something that is a high possibility down the line. Just like me, I know it's a high possibility I can get called in on a weekend when there's a thunderstorm or a holiday, when whatever. And, I'll complain about it while I'm doing it, but I already agreed to it and I already accepted the fact that that's part of my job. Whereas that is a known thing. If I were to be a game developer and start doing that tomorrow, just as some low-level guy or whoever, I would expect that in the long run. Be like, okay, you know what? We're getting towards the end. I might be asked to crunch. Like, I don't know who in the right mind is going like, this came out of nowhere. I can't believe it. Like,
I didn't see it coming.
Yeah,
and it's great. And we are living in the COVID time. I mean, it's a lot of people can't really wrap their heads around it. You know how much harder it is to make big AAA titles from home? I mean, it's doable, and they're doing it. But, I mean, there's so much more comes into it, which is obviously why the game has been pushed back so many times. So, let me know how you feel, because this is something that I know the gaming industry has been wrapped around with the whole crunch. But this doesn't seem like it's a bad perception of it. It's forced pay. But if you guys are interested, the new trailer for 2077, I think it's the final one, with the Keanu Reeves trailer, just came out. Where it's live action Keanu talking about Night City and stuff like that. So that trailer popped up recently, and again, I like that he's taking full responsibility for it. He's just like, this is it. If you guys want this game by November 19th, it has to be done. We had to make the decision, because he even went back and said, moving forward, we still want to be known as the company that has lax policy when it comes to crunch, but this is their last option. I don't know. I feel okay about it. I'm curious what everyone else is thinking.
I at least appreciate the fact that he's upfront about it. It's like, yeah, you know what?
Yeah, not hiding it, not sugarcoating it.
We are kind of asking people to do it. We're in that time. We kind of got to meet this deadline, but it's not like it's slave labor or anything like that. Exactly. We are asking a lot more people than we normally do. So as long as you're upfront and honest about what it really is and you're transparent, then I think that's that's important.
I think so too. That's the end of my first riff.
And so my last one is going to be me harping on about one of my favorite games, as always.
Kingdom Hearts?
God. Would be Yakuza. Yakuza is actually going to be having free days coming up here. So even if you don't have the Game Pass, which these are all on the Game Pass, you can play Yakuza 0, Kiwami 1, and Kiwami 2 October 1st through the 4th. Now, the reason I actually wanted to bring this up is because just recently, too, they announced the release date for 7 Like a Dragon. And surprisingly, it actually does not come out on the PS5 until March 2nd. Ooh. Now, a lot of people are saying, like, oh, Microsoft probably played for exclusivity, blah, 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 that sort of thing. Now, I don't know why they would for something like that, because, one, no one's going to buy an Xbox unless it was a completely Yakuza will never be on another console again. No one's going to buy an Xbox for Yakuza.
Yeah.
Let alone people can wait 4 months. That's not even that long too. But I like that they're doing something like this because it kind of does present that brand image because they've been showing it off at like their awards, all their different things that they've been doing. They've been showing off 7 a lot to kind of maybe even get that Japanese audience, but show, hey, you know what, we are making the effort. So I like that they're doing something like that, and something like this is showing, hey, you know what, this is going to get you in here. Hopefully that'll get you a taste. You can kind of understand what we're all about, and we can take you in this direction. Give a lot of people a chance, because it was something that I skipped out on for the longest time, and now I recommend this game to like everybody because I absolutely love it. So.
Yeah, it's cool that it's a 4-day entry for the free games, which most games will do that, but it's giving you all of them. So if you missed one, or you missed 2 of them, you've played one of them, it's giving you the option to play anything you missed, just to kind of catch up, just to reestablish yourself with the lore, play it in whatever order, because I know it kind of jumps around in terms of what's the precursor to the one of them or 2. So
it goes 0, QME, 1, 2, and then 3, 4, 5, all the way up to like 7. But the game 7 does come out November 10th for the Xbox, but again, as a part of that conspiracy theory that it's a timed exclusive, it also does come out on PS4 and PC on that same date. So I don't know why, if they're going to pay for exclusivity, why the PS4 would not be pushed back either. But either way, I think that's good imaging and good branding from Microsoft. So
yeah, I'm
glad to see something
solid
like that.
Move forward, and it's good to have. We need more franchises. We can't stick to the same franchises that everyone relies on every year. Your Call of Duties, a Halo, or something like that. It's good to see other games build up and get put into the public side, because you were saying you never would have played it. It's on Game Pass. You got all of them at your fingertips now. I know you've been wanting me to play it. I'll get into it. I like having more things to rely on than just the casual 3 or 4 that most people have a crutch on.
Who knows? Maybe it could be one of your 12 fast time games.
You think?
Yeah.
Ooh.
Fast loaders.
Hey, I don't mind that. Anything else on that?
No.
Okay, so my last riff. Play Yakuza. My last riff comes from Activision, guys. Activision just banned 20,000 cheaters. So let me read this quick passage here. This is from IGN, so you guys are kind of familiar with it. This is from Jordan Oloman. He wrote
I do
kind
of want to jump in on this, that they launched this at the same time as, I think was yesterday.
The Season 6 update.
Season 6 just launched as a part of that.
Yeah. So it says Activision reportedly banned around 20,000 Call of Duty Warzone cheaters as the game's Season 6 update began.
Sorry, I didn't realize that was part of the story.
That's what I was like, it's right there, baby.
My bad.
A report from Vice citing an Activision spokesperson and people familiar with the matter says that the publisher issued a ban wave on Monday with some terminations related to the use of a popular cheating program called engine owning. The engine-owning website now lists its Modern Warfare 2019 cheat as detected, suggesting that Activision has successfully halted its use in-game, wiping the accounts of thousands of cheaters in the process. Now, it goes on to report that that the article says that they specifically point out there's this streamer named Nick Wagnificent Wagner. And I actually watched the video I showed Andrew. I'm probably showing it right now to you guys. He was playing live during a stream, and his game crashed on him. He had to exit out. He was playing on PC. He logs back in, and then it hits him with a permanently banned account. And I thought it was hilarious. I'm like, dude, fuck you if you've got to fake your way to getting subscribers, fake your way to getting people thinking that you're good. And then, because when he gets questioned, because he has even his friends and then people, I think he's on Discord or something, people writing him, would you hack? Would you get caught? And he's just kind of defensive. He doesn't say yes or no, but he just avoids the question. This guy got fucked, because it goes on to say that this isn't the first time Activision has done this. Back in April, they did a ban of 50,000 people, and they've came out and said that they have a zero tolerance for this. And in Infinity Ward, who's another player in the game that makes Call of Duty games, says that there's going to be more ban waves coming. And good, yeah, exactly, good. If you got to be a fucking piece of shit cheater, because one of the other things that a lot of console players on Call of Duty are saying is this is why we don't want the cross-platform with PC. Keep it to console. If Switch eventually gets in the game, keep it console related, because when you start playing against PC guys, not only do they automatically have a natural advantage with mouse and keyboard.
Well, they split that community.
Yeah. Oh, do they? Okay, yeah. Good. But then they have
choose not to play.
Then they have these mods, and it's just like, that's bullshit. And this guy, I didn't check him out on Twitch. I was looking at him on YouTube, and he's got thousands of subscribers. He's got thousands of views, and it's just like, that's your reputation. You're just a fucking cheater.
I ran into cheaters before on Call
Yeah,
of
you were
Duty,
telling me
and
this, yeah.
it's the most frustrating thing. Like, they just laser beam you. You don't stand a fucking chance because it's all just headshots. Like, I watched the guy literally after he killed me, because I'll just keep watching somebody just to make sure. I don't ever instantly report somebody. Even if my kill cam looked like he just instantly fucked me up, I will still keep watching them just to make sure. Like, I want to see it happen more than whatever. I'll follow it till the end just to make sure, because I don't want to wrongly report anybody that maybe truly does just have, like, good aim, whatever. And no, this dude was, like, laser beaming people out of a helicopter. He literally had, like...
With a pistol.
He had a gun with, like, a 2-scope, and he was just aiming and just shooting random bullets and trying to hit people and just kill people from, like, across the map. He was already... and it's weird. I don't know what else he had on, because he was auto-aiming at people, but then at one point... he was sitting on a hill waiting for these people to come over the hill, and he didn't do like the aim, so I thought he maybe only had, because some people only have auto aim to where that's all you're doing is aiming, so he had to have something on too to where he could see where people were coming from, because he was literally got a good position and was just waiting for these two guys to come up and over, and he ended up actually winning the Warzone match, which hurts the most because sometimes you see these people get killed and that's the best moment. But he finished the game, and I think he had like 37 kills or something like that. And I was like, dude, it was fucking bullshit.
Yeah, and we were watching other people. We just kind of, because once I showed Andrew that, we were just kind of looking at people that get caught cheating. And there's so many people on PC that forget to turn off their hacks or their mods, and you're looking at it, you're like, dude, what is the point? Like, if you're gonna play a game,
it's a big thing
play
for
the
streamers
game.
for some reason. Yeah,
well, they want to get paid, and I guess that's the only way they know how, because they're obviously not that good at it.
I just don't understand cheating in a battle royale game, because it's such a like shallow victory. Like, if you're in a contest or something like that competing for money, then sure, like maybe I get it. But you have so many of these people that are like never going to reach that league. They're just cheating just to cheat. It's like I just don't get it.
Yeah, I've never gotten it, and it's one of those things where I'm just glad Activision took a fucking heavy hand and said, if we catch you, you're done.
Zero
it's a
tolerance.
permanent
Yeah,
ban.
I'm
You're just
glad
out.
about that.
And that makes 50,000 in April, another 20,000. How many thousands of people, tens of thousands of people are just cheating? That's just Call of Duty. That's just what their games they're catching them on. I mean, how many other studios and how many other online games are people just nerfing people and fucking them up?
I think what I like even more too is like some of those accounts, like the game is tied to that account, so you can't play it because it's tied to that, so they have to like purchase the game under like a different account name and stuff. And I'm just like, good, dude. Like, I hate anybody who fucking cheats. Like, I just don't get it.
Yeah.
It's one thing when it's like built-in game stuff for like fun or whatever, you know, like
cheat
the Konami codes.
Cheat codes are
whatever,
one thing.
but
built
that
to,
is fucking
walkthroughs and strategy guides. I don't consider that cheating. Yeah, exactly. Codes, in-game codes that you can unlock or get or find. That's one thing. But you're taking the healthy competition fun. You're ruining that. And
Yeah,
you're ruining that every game you do that with. What, 12 people? I mean, how many? I mean, 60 people. Whatever. How many people are in a round? Whether they're doing a battle royal or just a team versus team.
If you cheat like that, just know that I hate you personally.
Hey, you're as worse as a scalper. Worse as a goddamn scalper.
Scum beneath my toes, between my toes.
Real quick, because we are running a little fairly good. I know you're playing Yakuza. Is there anything else you're playing that you want to recommend for anybody? Did you just recently beat anything? Are you playing anything on the Switch, the Xbox?
I'm just starting Yakuza 2 again. Always recommend that because I'm actually really enjoying it now. I kind of wasn't at first. It's got a different like system than the other two did, the 0 and 1. But I'm also still bouncing between the Division. Like, I'm kind of on the end game, and
You're in the end game now.
Still waiting on AJ to get on. But
AJ, bro.
I just feel like it's taking me so much longer just to fucking level up than what did on Division 2. Like, it really kind of hurts going back and doing this. But I was already at the end game before when I originally dropped this game because I don't remember what the next thing was that came along. So after that's done, I might jump back into Destiny, but I'm not sure since that's now on the Game Pass.
I was gonna say, yeah. After Yakuza, what is your next title? Is it gonna be, because you're not gonna be, you've already beaten Destiny. You're gonna be jumping in, grinding and getting loot and shit. What's the next big title? Are we waiting until something next gen?
No,
or you gonna do backlog?
I kind of want to try to hammer out like a lot of the little smaller games that I have, like. I didn't do the last two Telltale, The Walking Deads. I didn't do that Borderlands one.
Yes.
So I have lots of short games that you can beat within a few hours that I want to try and get as many of those done. And then I can nitpick the big ones. Be like, do I really want to play that? No, I'm not going to re-download that on my next console. Whereas when it's the small ones, I'm like, oh, why won't I re-download it? It's only a few hours. And then it just sits there.
Yeah, I've literally just went through my Xbox and, dude, uninstalled
Cleansing?
all kinds, like so many things. I was like, little games. I was like, maybe I'll play this. Maybe I'm like, dude, if I'm not gonna play it, I'm not gonna play it, and I just wiped it, dude. I freed up like almost a terabyte of space. I was at like 400 something, and I'm up to like 900 gigs. Like, damn, there's a lot of stuff sitting there. But
I hope you kept Alien on there.
Alien Isolation on there. I just got done playing Dark Crystal: Age of Resistance Tactics, a game on the Game Pass. A chill game. There's no real big cutscenes or any like sound bites outside of them getting hit. So it was a good game to like relax, play because Deandra was over here, she was playing the game. She could listen to Far Cry, and I could just put that game on mute, and or when she's not, I was listening to a podcast or something. Really cool tactic style game if you guys are interested in it, or if you're interested in the show or the movie, I would say check it out. It can be a tad stale sometimes. It's kind of repetitive in terms of what your missions are, but overall, I enjoyed it. Me and Denny just picked up New Dawn again because we haven't played it in a couple weeks, so we just picked that up the other day, and we're playing it. And then I just started Doom Eternal came out today on the Game Pass after the big acquisition. Yeah, I started playing it. I'm literally just going, oh man, this is what I miss This is what I miss. Quick bursts of just nothing but straight killing and hunting demons, and I super enjoy it. So if you guys did have the Game Pass, it did come out today. I would say check that out. I'm so glad we didn't buy it.
Yeah,
so glad we didn't. But there's many a time I was asking Andrew, we got to buy it because we got to make sure we got to play it before the end of the year so we can at least rank it. And
I had an insider at Bethesda. Sardi knew the deal was in the pipeline.
Andrew knew the guys. So that is what we're playing, guys. Leave a list down below of what you are playing. But let's move into.
Did you start Mario at all? The 3D All Stars?
Nope, it's still sitting right there.
Oh.
There's just I'll probably do it after Doom just so I can start Sunshine.
I started mine and I'm on 64 and just kind of cruising. I'm definitely not going to 100% that game.
Oh no, from everything I'm hearing, it's not getting bad reviews. It's just getting, because all it is essentially up-resed ports of the game. It's not like they rebuilt anything. And what I'm hearing is, because you look at the old N64 controller, it had buttons for everything. You can't really emulate that in Joy-Cons or even the Elite controller for camera view. And when it comes to Mario, especially the later stages in the game where platforming becomes a little more heavier than it does in World 1-1, then it gets dicey, and I'm hearing mixed reviews on that.
I haven't had a problem so far, but I also don't play like inverted either. I know that was the biggest thing, is that you can't
switch it back.
Yeah, you can't switch it back. So I haven't really had any issues with it besides like the classic Mario 64 never controlled the most amazing. It was just a groundbreaking game at the time, but still the soundtrack's fire, the levels are fire. Still remember everything. I'll probably do all the main stuff as much as I can, but if it's anything that's I don't think I'm gonna go out of my way to do like the 100 coins or anything.
No,
like
it's gonna be, when I play,
but
it's
I
gonna be a
will
straight
do
path.
like all the stars. I'll do all the main things that I can.
Yeah. So if you guys got that, and again, because it's gonna be gone by like March of next year.
Yeah, they'll discontinue it. So if you see a copy, pick one up.
Get a copy, snag it. So let's move into video game questions of the week. And the first one comes from Daniel Backstrom, and he says, "Ears and noses will be the trophies of the day, but no hand shall touch him. No hand shall touch him." And I love that you're going to be dropping Gangs of New York on us, because that is a fantastic quote. And he says, "Favorite and worst Dragon Ball Z saga. Mine would be favorite Cell Saga, worst Great Saiyaman." When you put it like that, I don't think there's any saga in the history of anime that's worse than the Great Saiyaman saga. It's a waste of time. It's a waste of space. You completely diluted a character that you just maxed out in the previous saga, ending with like the Cell games and stuff like that. Gohan was the shit, and you turned him into a joke. There's no need to cover your identity when the world doesn't give a shit about superheroes. You know what I mean? No one's giving a fuck about superheroes.
What are you talking about? They got Hercule.
Hercule, yeah. Well, no, he's bragging that he's the strongest man in the world. He's not wearing a mask. So I would agree with you. The Great Saiyaman was a complete waste of X amount of episodes. I would say for me, my favorite saga is the Saiyan saga.
Saga for me
and
too.
The Saiyan saga, it kind of combines the Raditz saga and the Vegeta saga into one kind of overall arching arc. And I love it because the fact is, you get to see a lot of things begin and a lot of things grow. One, Goku, you find out he has family. Two, you find out Saiyans, and you start learning about that lore. You find out more about the tail and things like that. And then you also get Vegeta in his original concept. Vegeta used to be, as small as he is, a foot smaller than he is now.
But a badass.
A different design, because the Vegeta now has kind of that square jaw. He's always arched like this. The other one was kind of more Nappa, kind of open. Different color palette in his original design.
His hair was like brown then.
And the Z Warriors mattered. Like Tenshin Han, Chao Su, you get to start to see Piccolo turn into a good guy when he starts kind of mentoring Gohan. I think that was the best part because everybody still kind of had a role to play, and you get to see one of the most epic battles between Goku and Vegeta. I don't think you see a battle like that ever again. You don't get to see a battle where both bodies are broken by the time that battle's done. Goku cannot move. Vegeta is crawling to a ship. That never happens again. You get to see the Spirit Bomb in its purest form, and before the time when everybody was a Super Saiyan, the Kaioken. Yeah, the Kaioken was the
Kaioken times 10
times 20. It was the shit. So in my heart of hearts, and I guess you're mimicking me or mirroring me in terms of the Saiyan saga. I don't know. I mean, it's awesome. All the sagas are good outside of Great Saiyaman, but the Saiyan saga I thought stood out.
Just to add I'll say the same thing. That's my absolute favorite part too because
I don't know if anyone can see him, but I keep Nappa, Vegeta, and Raditz all right there.
It's just a lot more grounded and not so far out there with all the weird shit and stuff like that they added like way later on. So I'll take anything up until the end. I actually wish they had ended it at the Cell Saga because I really don't care for any of the Buu Saga. The only good contribution I think that they really made to that is, it's cool seeing like Vegito in there, but is seeing that Goku versus Vegeta fight again.
Epic.
But finding out later on that Goku was holding back really kind of makes that fight like pointless. But it's still really cool, and I still really like to watch it.
It just takes away from a Vegeta win. You're like, oh, Vegeta fucking finally gets him. Oh, he still doesn't?
Yeah, so I don't really care too much for anything beyond that. I honestly haven't even watched Super because, again, I don't care. Let alone, I don't care what they've done to Vegeta's character. Like, at least Vegeta, for me, like, I can stand him through the Buu Saga. Like, I still think he stands at this time and he's great. But in Super, he's like a complete fucking joke.
So if we're just talking Z, which is what the root is at, I think Vegeta has the best development
arc, as a character.
He goes from fucking wrecking shop, ready to destroy Earth, to to kind of semi partnering with them on the Namek Saga. Kind of still betraying Dende when he kicks the shit out of Dende after healing him to fight Frieza, and then he kind of turns around. I mean, Vegeta is one of the best characters of all, where Goku has just kind of been the same guy the whole time. Gohan is still kind of the same guy the whole time, doubting himself. Everyone else became irrelevant. So
I think that culminates too in Vegeta's speech. I forget what I want to say. That's also in the Buu Saga, where he's like, I tried to be like you, Goku. Like, I even got myself a family, but I didn't get as strong as you. I trained and I wasn't as strong as you. And it's when he's finally admitting that Goku's like better than him. But like I think he by far has the best character arc, and the best music. That like weird gong thing, whatever he's got going on.
And we can see the Gallic Gun. How many times do you see the Gallic Gun after Saiyan Saga?
Like the one where he hits fucking Cell with it, and then
so I'm saying, he
doesn't kill him.
You Kamehameha in every other episode. Vegeta's big fucking Earth. So I mean, I don't mean to go off on a tangent, but I think the Saiyan Saga alone.
We could always do that for Dragon Ball Z.
You know what? I think it is because back in the day when we were coming home from school, the episodes used to get so far and then reset,
and
then it would get so far and then reset, and then it finally got to Namek and then reset.
But you watch the same episode twice a day because they play something else and then play another episode.
Yeah, so I don't know. The Saiyan Saga to me is by far the best saga arc in Dragon Ball Z. And thank you for the question, because we can go off on Dragon Ball Z.
I love
I have a whole section in the game room that's just to Dragon Ball Z, so I love it. Next question comes from Aubenstein, and he says, who's your favorite Star Wars character? Gotta say mine is Obi-Wan for show. Solid choice. I'll let you start with this one so I don't lose myself in the muse.
Actually, we talked a little bit about it before, and we had the same answer, but now that I've kind of really sat to think, and if we're counting overall arcs, I actually really like Emperor Palpatine, just like how bad he is.
Palpatine.
And the fact that even still, like, you see him lose, but realistically, the fact that he got that far and was the Emperor in the original 3 means that he won at some point. And then going back and watching
he won.
Actual, like, 1, 2, and 3, just the kind of shit that he does or whatever, the kind of person that he is, even though he's not out there just like kicking ass and taking names, he kind of does at some points, like just manipulating everything and being like single-handedly bringing down the Jedi like again. Like, I just think he's a great character. And I actually really liked when they brought him back for the last movie. Like, I thought he was the best part of it. Because other than those newer movies, I'm like, this movie's kind of sucked. But I think he's great.
Yeah, it's kind of the saving grace. Palpatine is one of these guys. If you look at the great villains of all time, he's got the longest
of all time.
He's got the longest reign. I mean, fuck, and he ran an empire of space. I mean, yeah, he's a solid character. I would say, and Andrew, we were talking about earlier, is Starkiller.
Starkiller's great.
He's uncanon, but if you've played Force Unleashed, Starkiller is one of the best characters I've seen. I think when you have to look at one of the best characters in Star Wars, if we're talking Force sensitive, it's got to be someone that's been touched by both sides, light and dark, or at least has dabbled in them, or at least has faced a hard decision. There's a lot of characters, you look at your Yodas on one side or the Emperor on another, that have always been kind of that way. I love when someone has conflict within them, because that's
chaotic neutral.
That sparks the will they or won't they. And Starkiller is the perfect example of someone that was manipulated by Vader, raised as the dark side, starts realizing what's right and wrong, becomes into the light side, and depending on how you play the game, which is I think probably why it's on canon, is you can end it light or dark. So Starkiller to me is probably the most interesting character, but if we're going, I won't dive in. I had a couple others written down, but answer for answer, Starkiller, and you're saying Palpatine. So I'm going to hear what anybody else's is, because there's a lot of stuff. And if you want to get outside of the characters in the movies, read the books and read the comics, because take a guy like Vader. Vader looks very stiff and he's very one-dimensional when he's Vader in the movies. Read him in a comic book or a book. He's so three-dimensional. He's plotting against the Emperor at all times. He's on secret missions every time. Even. He does that in the games, all the time. And I got to give a shout-out, because I think if Gino was here, he would say Darth Bane, who is the creator of the Rule of Two, which is another awesome effect that the Emperor completely ran by. So, excellent question, Auburn-Stein. Thank you so much. Next question comes from Melissa Segura, and she says, you guys crack me up. Well, hey, we try. I've always been a PlayStation girl, but every episode you guys make me consider Xbox. What are your pros and cons on both? I'll go first. I just got a quick thing. I would say each mirrors the other. The Xbox has excellent online infrastructure, and we're talking it's online gaming plus it's cloud projection, and that's starting from day one when they were doing online stuff. And PlayStation has the best first-person games when you're comparing the two, not Nintendo aside. It delivers every system exclusive games that you must play. Each other one is their con. PlayStation's online infrastructure is dog shit, probably the worst in the business. And Microsoft, up until recently, has two games that are considered like its big exclusive, Gears and Halo. So I think each one's pro is the other one's con. Unless you see it differently?
I agree. I was actually just reading that the other day, reading a think piece. Or, actually, no, maybe it wasn't even that. Maybe I was listening to Colin Singh where he said, if you look at what PlayStation and Xbox have done this gen, like I can name you all the good PlayStation games, those games that really left a footprint. I can't name an Xbox game that left a footprint that I was like, damn, that was fucking good. Except for maybe like Ori, and that's kind of like even pushing it. And that's more.
Ori's on Switch now. And it's not even exclusive, you know what I mean?
So I would say it's more it depends on what you're playing. If you just want that single player solo experience, the PlayStation might be a better out place for you. We'll see going forward with that Bethesda purchase, because that might swing that vote. But if you're playing online, like I know you do, I know you play Call of Duty. I just had this conversation with a friend at work. I was like, hey man, he plays PlayStation. I play with him all the time, every day now, and I was like, hey, he's like, I've been thinking about getting either or. I'm like, okay, well, where did all your friends play? He's like, Xbox. I'm like, okay, well, then why do you have a PlayStation? And he's like, oh, I don't know, I just thought it was better at the time. Like, well, yeah, they might have a better sales number, but if all your friends are on another console, it's a lot easier to get into a party, especially if you're playing things like Search and Destroy. You don't have to be in the game chat. So that changes that game mode entirely, because even when you're dead, you can still give out callouts, versus normally when you're dead, you can't talk to anyone who's still alive. So go where your friends are if multiplayer-centric is your thing. Personally, for me, I honestly believe that I am more prone to PlayStation things, especially when it came to, like, when Final Fantasy was there, all those big games. I love, like, all those weird Japanese games and stuff like that. They're all coming to Xbox now, so now I'm actually reaping that benefit later on, especially with stuff like Yakuza.
The long game.
Yeah, so yeah, the long con. So it's working out for me now, but it might not have before. So now I'm kind of like, okay, well, I'm getting a lot of that stuff anyways, except for, like, weird, like, crazy, like, porn games or whatever, but I don't need any of that stuff. So unless you've got some other weird reason, you know, you could, especially for right now, you could start off with an Xbox if you're playing single player games every day. If you're just playing Call of Duty, you don't even need the X. Just get the S at $299 and get a PS5 later on down the road, maybe next Black Friday or something like that, and then just whatever you missed out along the way. Or if you already have your PS4, Miles Morales and Horizon Zero Dawn, the two next biggest games, are going to be on PS4. So just the same way people say, oh, there's no reason to buy an Xbox, there's no reason to buy a PlayStation 5 either.
Yeah.
Except for maybe Demon Souls. But.
Yeah, same way the Andrew's saying. You look at what PlayStation defined as this generation. Horizon Zero Dawn, God of War,
Spider-Man.
The Last of Us, Spider-Man, Ghost of Tsushima, Detroit Becoming a Human. These are all, I mean, maybe not so much the last one, but those games defined the generation and sold the console. Xbox didn't have that. And you can tell me that you bought a system for Gears of War 5. You can tell me that you bought a system for Halo 5. Maybe, but PlayStation, pound for pound was the better selling system, and by not even, subjectively, objectively has the bigger fan base. So if you want to be where the more conversations you're at, then yeah, the PlayStation community has been the biggest one. But Xbox is rectifying that. Xbox is just bought the whole Bethesda thing, and moving into the future, we're going to see what they can do when they go toe to toe. The pro is, and we could say Ghost and God of War and Horizon Zero Dawn, but the exclusive that Xbox has is the Game Pass. And we might sound like fanboys on this, but we're not, because I've always been a PlayStation guy. I think the PS2 is probably one of the best pieces of hardware that's ever came out,
I love
especially
PS2.
for its time. But that's Xbox's selling point these days. It's not Halo and it's not Gears of War. It's the Game Pass. So that's the pro. Do you want to pay $10 a month, entry level, and get hundreds of games and now day one first parties every time? Or do you want to pay $70, $60, $70 every time? So the pro is always going to be that PlayStation's going to have powerhouse games. The con is its online stuff isn't that great. Xbox has excellent stuff, and I think its con is slowly becoming just regular. I don't think it's going to have a con here pretty soon, so
We'll see.
yeah. So let us know what you think, Melissa, because I would love to know. Last question, guys, comes from Chris Trejo, and he says, cool show. Microsoft has all kinds of great studios now. Yeah, that's from the last one when we talked about the Bethesda buyout. Question for you guys. What defines a gamer to you? Oh, we're getting philosophical. People always give shit to mobile gamers and people with one console, etc. Can you be a gamer if you've never played a Mario game? Love to hear your thoughts. Yeah, I think that the word gamer has been muddied across the water across generations, because you look back at our parents. A gamer was someone that stood by a coin-op machine and arcades. That was a gamer. I would even go as far as to say tabletop people that play Warhammer and Dungeons and Dragons and Pathfinder. Those are gamers. You don't have to play an actual console. Our generation, that's kind of how we look at it. It's been a PC or it's been a Nintendo or Sega Genesis. That's a gamer. But we're now move forward a generation. You've got kids that have a gaming device in their hand 24/7 playing games. Yeah, you can be a gamer and be just on mobile or on your tablet. I have a friend, Brianna. She doesn't play Xbox or anything like that, but she loves her game on. There's one game she plays. It's like a racing game or something like that. She's on it every day. I think what defines a gamer is you just got to be passionate about it. You can't be a fucking cheater like fucking Wagnificent. You can't be a fucking dickhead, but you got to at least like what you're doing. Don't play a game just to pass the time. I mean, I think a gamer is just someone that likes to play games and experience new things.
It is a broad spectrum now, because you can play lots of games on mobile now that sometimes it is more convenient. You can go buy
24/7.
You can go buy Final Fantasy 7, 8, or at least 7 and 9. I don't know about 8. I'm pretty sure 8 you can. You can buy that straight from any sort of app store, and those are some of the most popular, biggest games. I wouldn't call someone who just plays a gambling game on their phone all the time a gamer, but if you like to play Angry Birds and stuff like that, sometimes some of those games are a stepping stone into what leads you into being whatever. I think Craig kind of nailed it. As long as it's something that you're passionate about, as long as you can, I think really more importantly, as long as you're not one of those people that's video games are a waste of time. I don't see why people spend their life doing whatever, blah, 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 blah. Even if you just play one game, that doesn't make you a gamer. Because if you can't understand why it's a lifestyle for some people and not just a dink little hobby or something like that, then I wouldn't call you that, because then you're not realizing what it can mean to some people. Because for this, I think it's more interactive than a movie. It's more interactive than a book. You can get a lot deeper lore while at the same time stimulating your brain.
Yep.
So it really just does depend. But I don't think that there's any sort of mandatory, you have to play Mario. Gino hasn't beaten a Zelda. We were just talking about that. I haven't played lots of popular games.
I don't think there's any staple.
I hate popular games. Some of them now, like Red Dead Redemption 2 is a very popular game. I didn't think it was that good. The Last of Us 2 was another breaker. Me and Craig both we were just talking about it the other day, having like sat on it for a while. I'm just like, it was a good story, but at the same time, like, I didn't really have any fun, and it's not going to be in my Game of the Year nominations.
Yeah.
If I had a nomination for, like, Graphics of the Year or something like that, then I'll have that conversation.
Most engrossing play.
Yeah. But Game of the Year, like, no. And that's, like, you don't have to play all these big shebang, like, these whatever titles. Some people just like playing, Skate. If all you want to do is just play Skate, a virtual skateboarding game, whatever. And, there's some people who just stream only fucking Call of Duty. If you only play one game, that does not make you like not a gamer,
right?
Especially if you're making money off of it, you're the biggest fucking person doing that. Then that's you may be more of a gamer than me. Who knows? Especially because you're taking that dedication. I don't have time. I can't quit my job and just stay at home and stream all day.
Yeah.
So saying that someone's not a gamer because they haven't played whatever, you only play Call of Duty, you only play this, you only play that, but take that spectrum and add it higher. Is there a streamer for that? Are they making crazy money from it that you're not making? Then does that make you not the gamer because they're making a living off of it, whereas I'm not? So they're taking that gaming spectrum to the next level.
Yeah, your hobby is now their career. And,
exactly.
And we've seen that blow up over the last 5 years.
Which is what we're trying to do, so help us get there.
So help us get there, guys. Because, it's a valid question, if you never played a Mario game, because you got to reevaluate yourself. Mario's of a certain age, and obviously it's grown, but most people's starting game back in the day was a Mario game. But if, like Andrew's saying, if you've only owned a PlayStation or you've only owned an Xbox, that's your first system, then why would you ever? I would still argue that any gamer with his salt knows who Mario is, even though you've never played it. But you've got to remember that there's a difference between also passion and addiction. So be careful when it comes to overplaying games, because like we can go a week without playing a game. A gamer isn't someone that sits in this thing every day and plays 10 hours a day. That doesn't make a gamer. You can play. There's casual gamers. There's every other day gamers. So yeah, the question's broad, and like I said, I think it's moved itself over the era, and I think some people latch onto old definitions of like Billy Mitchell. Billy Mitchell's a gamer, but he's an arcade gamer. He doesn't play Xbox. He doesn't play PlayStation 5. PlayStation 4. There's just different spectrums of it, and you just got to respect them all, because there's guys like Shane who will come over and he could play a game of Call of Duty or two, but he's done after that. He wants to go outside. He wants to go play something. It'd be the same way if I said somebody needed a pickup game of basketball and I wanted to play. They needed me as a man. I'll play it. I'm not a basketball player because I'm done. If I never played a game of basketball after that, I wouldn't care. I would just revert it to just it's passion. Is it something you want to do? Is it something you like doing? And it doesn't matter what device you're doing it on. Stadia is a concept that's built on no console. Stadia is a gaming system, gaming philosophy that's built on your cell phone and your tablet and your laptop and stuff like that. So yeah, I would say a game's a game, and just it's as long as you like playing it, and then you're a gamer.
I mean, not to drag it out any further, but I would say more children now, especially what's more popular, more children now than at whatever age you think you were introduced to Mario, have played
way more games.
way more Fortnite or Call of Duty, and probably have never even played a Mario game. I would say they are more likely to have done that.
I like that question, man. That was a big question, and it's a. I mean, we could that could be an episode.
Yeah, that's
every once in a while. Yeah, every once in a while we get those questions that is just literally. We got to think outside the box and talk to each other. We could do it. But yeah, good question, man. And I'm
with
curious.
That, I wash my hands of you.
I wash my hands of these. So guys, moving into the final part that most of you have been waiting for is the next gen console giveaway. So Andrew and I have finally decided that we are going to give the lucky winner a PS5 discless or an Xbox One Series S. Now, there's going to be a couple rules attached to that, guys, and these rules are going to be as followed. You need to be subscribed to the channel. That's a given.
That's been. If you are not subscribed, I'm not going to write you. I'm not going to tell you you're shit out of luck, and that is on you.
The next one is going to be, unfortunately, guys, if you're in other places that we don't say, I'm sorry. This is Andrew and I's first big giveaway. We've never really gone outside the U.S. We're doing North America and most parts of Europe. Now I'm going to throw up a thing on the that you guys can look at. These are some of the countries that we're looking at. They're going to be part of Europe. They're going to be entry level that you guys can get. If you do not see your country on there And because Andrew and I are on a budget, that's what you guys got to remember. We don't get paid for this. This is out of our pocket. So we've kind of stumbled on these names that are doable. If you don't see your country on there, then write us at lastcallproductions@gmail.com or leave it in the comments and ask us if you are eligible, and we will write you back and let you know. But unfortunately, that's where we're going to kind of cap it at. North America and those parts of Europe as entry countries. The next thing, guys, is you've got to respond within a week. If we announce you as a winner and we don't hear from you within a week's time, then we're going to move on to the next person, because we don't have time with how rare these consoles are projected to be to wait around for you to announce your prize. The last one, guys, is like every other one. Leave in the comments. This is going to be your entry. Write in the comment, leave a question, leave a beer recommendation. But if you want to be entered, make sure you write hashtag nextgen, NEXTGEN, and that is going to be your entry per episode, because we are going to be running this from October 1st to November 5th. That's going to give you guys 6 entries total to enter. Andrew and I, we pull a name out of every episode, put them into a hat. We're going to pull that name. That's going to be the winner, and we will announce that winner on episode 69.
Again, he cleared it all up. Make sure you're subscribed. We're not going to write you. More importantly, keep in perspective. If these consoles are sold out, we physically have to go to the store to get them. We'll get it as soon as we can get one for you. Now, we're not going to wait like 40 months or anything like that, especially if they're stocked on shelves. We're not going to cheat anybody, but I'm not going to go stand in line to wait to get you a PS5 at midnight, not knowing how many are there with 40 other people. So as soon as we can get one, we'll go ahead and send it to you.
As soon as the winner that we announce tells us what system they want and it's readily available. So guys, don't assume that this is going to be your day one purchase, that you want it from us and you're going to get it day one. No, you're going to get it as soon as we can get it for you, because again, like Andrew's saying, we're not going to wait in line. We're not going to do what we did for hours. When one's available, we'll get it for you and we'll ship it to you. So if you guys this is why we're kind of reaching out to the Europe and stuff like that. If you've got friends in other countries or family in other countries, let them know. Let them jump in and be a voice for you. Jump in, do the hashtag nextgen, because we're more than happy to reach a broader audience. We need your guys' help to do it.
I'd say, too, even help us get to that 1,000, because the sooner we can maybe start, not that we're about money or anything like that, all that stuff we pour back into the show. Even when we get money off of our shirts and everything like that, we spent all that stuff just going back into the show. So get us over 1,000 so we can start monetizing some stuff, and then maybe we'll give away another console, too, and that one might be your chance if you don't miss out on this one.
Yeah, because I was saying, this is one of the biggest giveaways we've done, and it's going to be extremely hard. It is the biggest, and it's going to be extremely hard to top ever, really. So moving forward, I mean, we're going to be doing tons of different giveaways. We have tons of different ideas, but we want to make sure you guys, know that we're serious about giving back to the community, because that's really what it's all about. We've been doing this for about a year and a half now, and it's significantly grown. We want to see it keep growing. We want you guys to know we're just as serious as the viewers that we have watching us.
Yeah, and either way, I mean, even for where we're at now, thank you from the bottom of my heart.
From the bottom of his and the top of mine. So guys, make sure you guys check us out, please, on the social medias, on Instagram, Last Call Productions, on Twitter, at LastCall PureODZ. Any questions about the contest or anything we speak about in general, leave it in the comments or send it to lastcallproductions@gmail.com. If you guys are interested in the audio only version of this podcast, you like listening to it when you go to work, you like listening to it when you're in the gym, then check us out on Castbox, iTunes, and Spotify at Last Call Gaming.
Because he added that in too, I always forget, and we always forget, that in order to enter, it has to be a comment on YouTube. So if you are listening to this on audio, just go over to our YouTube channel and leave a quick pop on there.
Yeah, if you guys are checking us out on Spotify or anything like that, and you hear this, go to YouTube, check us out, leave it in the YouTube comment, because we're a YouTube show for and foremost, and that is going to be how we pick the winner. So guys, I hope it's not too much overbearing information for you. Obviously, we're gonna reiterate it every time we do a show from now to November 5th. But guys, just make sure you stay privy to it. And again, tell your friends, because the more people you have in your stable to root for you, the bigger chances you have to win. So anything else, Andrew, you want to add to this?
If you want to, you can follow me on Instagram at MandrewKills with 3 L's.
And you can follow me, guys, at Craig Perales across all your social medias. And give us a like, give us a follow. So guys, until next time, my name is Craig Perales, and that is Mandrew Montemayor. Cheers.